Jong-o answered, "Ah, no." Ji-hun's gaze was still on Jong-o, observing her expression. White Lotus Che-eun-bai asked if Jong-o was going to get lunch. Being caught in an unfortunate time, Jong-o could only answer yes, she was planning to. White Lotus Bish, trying to act all magnanimous, told Jong-o to speak informally if they were alone, or was Jong-o doing it on purpose to embarrass her. Jong-o denied that it was not her intention at all, and quickly excused herself. After she turned away feeling dejected, Ji-hun spoke to the White Lotus Bish. He thought she was getting lunch. Still clinging to his arm, she told him that she had forgotten something. White Lotus Bish and Ji-hun watched Jong-o as retreating back, going farther away. It was then she finally let go of Ji-hun's arm. After disturbing them in the middle of a conversation, the White Lotus Bish had the audacity to ask Ji-hun, "Appa, what happened?" "What did Jong-o say?" "Just a warning, be careful of Lee Jong-o. When we were in high school, she secretly used my makeup. All of my friends know that, but she keeps on trying to hide it. She must have fixed her habit by now, but being careful won't hurt you. Side note, I swear, I want to slap her every time she spouts lies." Instead of listening to Che-eun-bai's lies, Ji-hun spoke sternly, "Che-eun-bai, don't cross the line. We're pretending to be in a relationship to avoid dealing with troublesome matters." And with that, he left her hanging in the lobby. Flashback to 4 years ago, there was a rumor circulating among the upper class that Che-eun-bai and Sarian Group's Jang Ji-hun were dating. Taking that opportunity and using it as an excuse, Eun-bai proposed something to Jang Ji-hun. Sitting in a lounge, Eun-bai suggested to Ji-hun they should pretend dating. Not interested, Ji-hun got up from the sofa. Desperate, Eun-bai stated that it wasn't for real. They can just pretend they are. As Ji-hun was also tired of girls chasing him around, and his mother would be looking for a marriage candidate anyways, and since she was also in the same position as him, with this excuse, Ji-hun told her to do as she likes. And her face lit up excitedly. They have the same interests, so their relationship has been good until now. The name, Jang Ji-hun itself, has become Che-eun-bai's pride. She showed her ring to her colleagues, and they praised her, giving her the attention she wanted as always. Eun-bai had also made use of that relationship at work. That was how she has been enjoying it one-sidedly. She didn't expect Ji-hun to be transferred to Max Planning. She was scared at first as he might call her out for her action, but she was relieved when she realized Ji-hun has always been indifferent, both in the past and the present. His background that she checked showed his relationship history was unbelievably clean. She doesn't know if he has misophobia, but he has always been alone. Thus, the only one who could become Jang Ji-hun's wife is her, Che-eun-bai. In the office, Ji-hun thought of Jong-o, questioning why she had that expression while asking him that. Or was it because of what happened in the morning, to ask why he held her wrists? Or maybe Park Sung-yu was scared. After contemplating, he wondered if she was really that upset. He should have asked her. In the break room, Jong-o was on the phone telling her mom that she is working overtime. Her mom reported they've eaten and Princess Yena ate rice and some ice cream. Then her mom told her that the hairpin in the restaurant, a purple hairpin that Jong-o had been searching for. She questioned her mother. What about the hairpin? Her mom said she was searching for it crazily, about a year ago. Of course, she doesn't remember when it's that long ago. Maybe it's just not that important anymore. After hanging up the phone, Jong-o looked solemn. Is Lee Jong-o only worth as much as that hairpin to Jang Ji-hun? The hair was lost without her realizing it, and she didn't look for it again. That kind of useless memory. Jong-o made her way back to her office when Che-eun-bai was standing at Jong-o's cubicle. Che-eun-bai wanted Jong-o to bring the file to the meeting room. It's needed, to which Jong-o readily complied. Che-eun-bai asked if she did something that made Jong-o feel uncomfortable. Jong-o denied that there was no such thing. Eun-bai then proceeded to ask with great fanfare, "Then you're not upset because I gave you some work?" Jong-o denied, but Eun-bai proceeded to push her agenda to Jong-o. If you get upset until your face is red, just because of some trivial things, you could end up hurting others and spoiling their mood too. This scene disrupted the other colleagues working. Then Eun-bai spoke loudly, that she'll take the files to the meeting and Jong-oh should try to calm down. Jong-oh watched Yunbai leave and wondered what's wrong with Yunbai. At an apartment complex, Do-bin could be heard loudly saying that he was not going to brush his teeth. Hiding behind his father who just got back from work, he begged his father to save him. His frustrated mother asked if he wanted to get hit or brush his teeth. He asked to get hit instead. Side note, Park Do-bin sounded like my youth. And that answer angered his mother even more. She chased after him like a momster, questioning why he was running away when he said he preferred getting hit. Park Sung-yu could only watch the mother and son fight while holding his daughter as he tried to maintain his sanity from his daughter. Do-bin is still pulling away from his mother, making a scene, until she tells him she will tell Yena that he, Park Do-bin, doesn't brush his teeth. And he's very dirty. That shook Do-bin motionless, and he quickly came to his senses. He dried his tears and told his mom that he will brush his teeth, and he obediently rushed to the bathroom. Sung-yu thought he heard it wrong and chased after. He poked his head inside the bathroom, and what he saw was truly unbelievable. His son was actually brushing his teeth. His son has changed. His son, who eats his boogers secretly, has changed. He turned around and asked his wife, "Who's Yena?" His wife explained that she was Do-bin's friend from the Baduk Academy. She's pretty. She's very talented, and it seems like she's smart too. The academy director even complimented her. Sung-yu praised Yena for being such an amazing kid, to which his wife agreed. She hoped Yena would get close to Do-bin. Sung-yu saw Yena as the savior, the light at the end of the tunnel, thus they had to get close. In the conference room, Jong-oh was getting ready to have a seat, but of course, not without Che-eun-bai making a deal out of nothing. "Hey, Jong-oh, what's up with your expression?" Confused, Jong-oh asked. "What do you mean?" Eun-bai complained. "It looks like you're chewing on something." More confused, Jong-oh questioned. "Chewing on what?" "I'm not chewing on anything." Eun-bai answered. "That's what I mean. Even though you're not chewing on anything, it looks like you are." "Jong-oh, I'll say just one thing for you. I think it would be good to fix your expression a bit. I haven't done anything wrong to have a higher rank than you. Got it?" Then she gave a fake laugh, like a white lotus. Jong-oh wasn't sure what stunt Eun-bai was playing, but it is fortunate in some ways. Like Che-eun-bai is the same then and now. She is still not a good person. The projector was on. The presenter presented the project details. Miran was excited, and then Ji-hun walked in. He told them not to worry, and they should keep going with the meeting. He sat next to Eun-bai, but is directly across from Jong-oh. Jong wondered if they were close, watching how Eun-bai was staring awestruck at Ji-hun. Probably they are. 7 years ago, Jong Ji-hun was quite the lively man in that regard. He didn't discriminate in terms of places. He probably went all out. Could it be different comparing someone he met for a few months to someone he's been with for years? But, since earlier, why does it feel like he was looking at her? Why isn't he focusing on the meeting? Why was he acting like that when his lover was right next to him? Then the presentation concluded and Ji-hun didn't hesitate to praise the project, while looking straight at Jong-oh. She shuddered. "Don't talk like that while looking at me." Jong-oh finally came home exhausted. She asked her mother where Yena was. Her mother stated, Yena fell asleep while waiting for her. Jong-oh slumped on the couch without reservation and complained. "It feels like I age a year every time I go to work. I'll be the same age as you if I work 3 more weeks there." Jong-oh sat up and asked, "Mom, should I quit my job?" Her mother answered, "Yeah, quit it. Just quit it all. I should also quit the restaurant too." Jong-oh putted, "Why would you quit the restaurant? We should work in the restaurant together instead." Her mother answered, "You cannot even cook a proper meal. Why do you want to join the restaurant? Is your job not good?" Jong-oh slumped back down on the couch and muttered, "She just wanted to try the restaurant once." Then their conversation was interrupted by sleepy Yena. She came out, rubbing her eyes. Jong-oh abruptly stood up. "Princess Yena, are you awake? Let's sleep with mommy." In the bedroom, Yena asked why was her mommy so late? She was waiting. Jong-oh could only apologize to Yena, and she promised she'll play with Yena a lot on the weekend. Yena reported, "Mom, Park Do-bin keeps following me around. He's been bothering me." Jong-oh asked if Do-bin taught her how to play Go Stones. Yena explained that the teachers are the ones who taught them Go Stones. Both her and Do-bin learned from the teacher. Jong-oh hugged her daughter and chuckled. "That's right. You learned from the teacher." In hindsight, she wished she had a teacher too. A teacher who would give her the answers when problems arise. A brand new day. Ji-hun sighed as he walked towards his office. He has been busy with main office meetings, more meetings, events. There was no time to rest at all. When he arrived at his office, the receptionist outside reported that yesterday, one of the employees came to visit. Her name was Lee Jong-oh. Ji-hun asked his receptionist, "What time?" The receptionist answered, "Around 12 o'clock. It seemed like something urgent then. Ji-hun asked the receptionist to contact Jong-oh. Back at Jong-oh's cubicle, Ki-hoon was showing Jong-oh her work. "There seems to be a typo." Jong-oh begged Ki-hoon to keep it confidential. Ki-hoon laughed hysterically and said he'll think about it, as to tease her. Jong-oh begged for him to not say anything about it. She'll buy him a meal. Then they were interrupted by the receptionist. "The director has called for her." Jong-oh felt gloomy. Why her again? While Ki-hoon cheered her up. Jong-oh arrived at Ji-hun's office and asked him what he was looking her for. Observing her, whose gazes drawed the lines, an expression that cautiously guarded, speaking with a measured tension. It's none of those moments when there's something more to say. That gap keeps igniting curiosity in him. The corner of Ji-hun's lip curved. He admits, this feeling isn't normal, but being drawn in doesn't mean he has to be carried away. He should understand it properly. He wanted to have her, but he didn't want to give himself up. He invited her to sit down and pushed the cookies to Jong-oh. "Take as much as you want. These are cookies from yesterday." Surprised, she questioned if he picked up the cookies. He replied, "Doesn't she want him to?" As Jong-oh reached for a cookie, Ji-hun spoke. "I just heard about it today. That you were looking for me yesterday. You should explain why you were looking for me so desperately." Ji-hun suggested, "Let's talk comfortably." Jong-oh held back all the things she wanted to say and instead, she said she came to look for the cookies, because she will sincerely eat it. So if you were going to throw away food from now on, please give it to her. That was what she was going to tell him. Huh? Ji-hun looked at her interestingly. "You were looking for me just to say that? You cry and you don't say it." Jong-oh reasoned that it was a different situation. He questioned, "What are the different situations?" She answered, "Just my personal matter." Misunderstood. He questioned firmly, "Did Deputy Director Park Sung-yu make any threats?" Jong-oh denied, "Absolutely not. Deputy Park Sung-yu seemed like a nice person." Ji-hun kept silent, just observing her actions and words. Jong-oh told herself she shouldn't become weak. A man who didn't tell her what family he was from. A man who has forgotten all. The man who couldn't trust her. The man who doesn't know she has a baby. She wondered if he was a bad person or a pitiful person. But didn't she speak to him after the accident? How did he call her when it was said he lost his memories? Was that really the man's voice? Maybe it wasn't done by Ji-hun. If the call was rigged, then they broke up because of someone's plan. Slowly, she opened her mouth and asked, "That, director, have you ever heard my name?" "My name, Lee Jong-oh." Ji-hun leaned back comfortably and asked, "Have you ever filmed any commercials that are famous enough to have your name on them?" The inner Jong-oh exploded in anger. "Hey, you idiot." She took a deep breath and wondered, is it all right to reveal my identity and Yena's existence now? Is this person going to get married soon? But it's better to know now than to find out after you get married. She finally mustered enough courage to reveal her identity. "Director, I have something to tell you." At the same time, at a bus stop, Yena got off the bus. A woman stood there and waved at Yena, to which she knew that person was not the teacher. She grabbed onto Yena, and while she tried to ask, "Who are you?" but the woman cut her off and told her to thank the other teacher. Yena thanked the teacher, but the teacher was busy instructing the other students in the bus to behave, and she quickly left. Once the bus took off, the unknown woman grabbed Yena's hand and guided her away. Yena asked, "Where are they going?" The unknown woman said to the academy. Confused, Yena stated. But the academy is over there, looking at the direction. The unknown woman reasoned. You moved to another academy. You didn't hear it? Yena was more confused. She looked at the direction of the academy getting farther away. The unknown woman dragged Yena to a place she was not familiar with. She attempted to pull her hand away and stated, she will call her mother. The unknown woman yelled, why are you not listening to my words? Follow me quickly. And then she hurriedly took off. Yena ran after the unknown woman around the corner, but the woman was nowhere to be found. She looked around at an unfamiliar place, feeling lost. Back at the Baduk Academy, the real teacher was about to leave through the door. Dobin asked if the teacher was going to pick up Yena, to which the teacher said yes. Dobin asked excitedly if he could go with the teacher. The teacher agreed. They both can go pick up Yena. When they arrived at the same spot, there was no sight of the bus or Yena. The teacher believes it should already be time, but she will give a call to check. The teacher called and asked the status of Yena. She was told that Yena already got off the bus, and a teacher came out to pick her up. Then the real teacher said she has never taken Yena with her. The other person said that cannot be true. She'll check again and get back. And in that instant, the teacher and Dobin felt terrified. Just when Zhang-O wanted to reveal her identity, her phone buzzed, interrupting them both. Ji-hun asked, shouldn't she pick up? Zhang-O answered, no, it's all right. Ji-hun stated, just answer it. It might be something urgent. Zhang-O stood up and excused herself. She'll take the call and be back. Watching her go out, Ji-hun was dumbfounded. He didn't say for her to go out. She looked at the screen and it was from Yena's teacher. She picked up the phone and the teacher told her what happened. Yena was missing. Zhang-O arrived at the same drop-off site. The teacher was there, along with Dobin and his mother. Zhang-O questioned, what happened to my Yena? Did you find her? The teacher answered, yes, we found her. I just got a call. She was with the police. They're on their way now. A big relief overcame her, and she slumped down to the ground. The teacher helped Zhang-O up. You must have been so worried. We're very sorry about this. This was the first time Park Do-bin's mother met Yena's mother. She interrupted them by introducing herself as Park Do-bin's mother. Do-bin is Yena's Baduk Academy friend. Her Do-bin likes Yena. She wanted to see her. Zhang-O looked at the mother-child pair and finally met Do-bin. Then she saw Yena coming in the distance. Yena! She shouted. Yena also shouted back, waving her hand. She was escorted back by a police officer. Mother and daughter reunited after. Zhang-O checked her daughter for injuries, but Yena said she was all fine. After seeing that there were no injuries, she questioned, where did you go? How could you go off on your own like that? Yena answered, I wasn't alone. An auntie said she was a teacher. A teacher? Zhang-O questioned. Yena replied, yes. She said she was a teacher at Baduk Academy. The police officer said that person seemed suspicious, so he'll be sure to look into her. He will contact Zhang-O after going through the CCTV nearby. He introduced himself as Quan Bail. He's from Wyong Police Station. Zhang-O stood up and thanked the policeman. Back at Ji-hun's office, he was still sitting on the same spot, waiting for Zhang-O to finish the phone call. But after a while, there was no sight of her coming back. Finally, he stood up and left the office to check. He asked the receptionist, where is assistant manager Lee Zhang-O? The receptionist said that Zhang-O left a while ago. Shocked. Huh? Tell her to come back. He turned around and headed back to his office, adjusting his tie. What's with that woman? Before he could finish scolding her, the receptionist came in and reported that Lee Zhang-O left the office. Back at the Baduk Academy, the bus driver and the teacher apologized to Zhang-O. The bus driver cried and apologized for being negligent. I was mistaken because she looked similar to the teacher who usually comes to get her. I should have made sure of her identity. I'm very sorry. Zhang-O stated, Yena's safe. So it's okay now. However, it could have gone very wrong. So I think you should be more careful from now on. This might be a hassle, but from now onwards, can you contact the academy before dropping her off? The driver readily agreed to that proposal. After that fiasco, the teacher also headed home. Zhang looked at Yena and asked Yena, "It's been a long day, right?" Dobin's mother interrupted them. "I drove my car here, so I can drop you guys off. You're probably tired." Zhang smiled angelically and said that she will owe a favor. Dobin's mother laughed. "If you want to, I'll be grateful." They all got into the car. The two adults sat at the front while the two children sat in the back. Dobin's mother asked where should she go. Zhang answered, "Go in the direction of the market, but..." Dobin's mother asked if it's the market nearby, to which Zhang replied, "Yes." Dobin's mother stated, "This must be destiny. My parents used to run a flower shop there. Its name was Jinseo Flower Shop." Zhang was surprised. "Oh my, I know that place. My mom runs a restaurant there too. Do you know about Guksun rice?" Park Dobin's mother answered enthusiastically. "Oh my, of course. This really must be destiny. I'll have to say hello to your mom today." Yena interrupted the two adults. "Mommy, I have a drawing to show you. I made a zoo at the daycare." Zhang unzipped Yena's school bag and took out a drawing. "Yena, what animal is this?" "It's a deer." Yena replied confidently. Zhang sighed and praised, "You did good." Yena replied confidently, "I know. Right." As Zhang put the drawing back, a note slid out. Curious, she took the note to see. Her eyes widened, shocked instantly the moment she saw the note. She got her looks from her mom. While her personality is like her dad, she takes after the both of you. Her heart pounded as she glanced at the rearview mirror that reflected her innocent and cute daughter. Someone knows that I gave birth to Zhang Jihun's child. Someone is watching over me and Yena. Should I tell the police? Will the police take action on a note that's not even threatening? What if I'm facing someone very powerful? For example, Zhang Jihun's father, or... Before she could process her thoughts, Dobin's mother asked, "You're working, right?" "Ah, yes. You're very cool. You're working and raising a child well. You're really amazing." Zhang being humbled stated, "I'm not. I don't know what I would do if something like today happens again. I left my office because Yena went missing." Park Dobin's mother suggested, "What if she takes Yena with her after picking up Dobin at his daycare? After the Baduk class, Yena can go to my house and play with Dobin and Do-yoon. I think your mother can pick Yena up after she closes her restaurant." Zhang thought that would be a great idea, but I think it would be too much of a hassle for you. Dobin's mom explained, "It's not. It's because Yena's so pretty. Dobin listens to her more than he listens to me. If Yena's around, I think Dobin can change completely." Then, Yena's mother, "Should we try that for a week? I will feed her and make sure she plays safely. Just for a week." And Zhang saw Dobin's mother as an angel that had descended from the heavens. How can there be such an amazing person? In the office, Ji-hun went back and sat in the same position, waiting for Zhang. Then, Park Sung-yu came in asking if he's going home yet, to which he replied, "He will." Sung-yu asked cheerfully, "Should I tell you something fun?" Then he proceeded to sit on the desk before continuing. "My son likes this little girl. Apparently it was love at first sight. My wife told me that secretly. Children these days move pretty fast." "Ha ha ha." Ji-hun asked, "Isn't this only fun for you?" Park Sung-yu answered, "You're quite cold today. Did something happen?" Ji-hun replied cluelessly, "What kind of thing? There's no such thing. Go home already." Sung-yu answered jokingly, "You hate me, don't you?" Ji-hun turned around and asked, "What nonsense is that? I like you a lot. That's why I kept you close to me, even though you were sent by my mother. I'll treat you well. I won't disappoint you." His words offended Sung-yu. "You must see me as that kind of person, a person sent by your mother. Isn't your life easy? You don't have anything precious, and everyone you meet means nothing to you. And yet, I'm still supporting you. Although you don't trust me. I don't understand why you think like that, but I consider you as my friend, you bastard. I'm on your side, not your mother's." This punk. After yelling some senses into Ji-hun, Sung-yu left the office, leaving Ji-hun feeling sour and frustrated. The next day, before sending Yena off to daycare, Zhang had the stranger danger talk with her daughter. Yena, you should not talk to strangers. Got it? Yena replied, Yep. Zhang elaborated, even if someone wants to buy you food, you should not follow that person, okay? Yena answered, Yep. Zhang added, if you don't like something, say it. You can do well, right? Yena answered, Yep. Not sure if Yena was actually listening. She changed how she preached to Yena. You're gonna say that you'll do it, but you're not going to listen to me again, aren't you? Yena, who had answered just yep previously, instinctively answered, Yep, no. Zhang provided a scenario. What if an adult came to you, and that person said, my hands hurt, can you help me bring my things? Yena answered confidently, I'll help. Zhang cried inwardly, Ah, what should I do with this clever child? She hugged her daughter and explained, an adult who asks a kid for help is a bad adult. You can reject helping a stranger, okay? Yena answered, okay. With that, Zhang concluded her stranger danger talk. As always, Yena answered yep, and Zhang cried again. Please grow up safely. At the office, Zhang was enjoying her coffee in the break room when a colleague came up to her and asked if she had met the director yet. Confused, she asked why. The colleague explained that she left a memo on her desk. Has she seen it yet? Zhang stated she has not. The colleague explained, the director has been looking for Zhang since yesterday, and that brought back memories. She had forgotten. If the director has been waiting for so long, he might be mad at her. She arrived at his office, found him still sitting on the same spot as yesterday. She thought she must be in luck today. But he was wearing the same clothes as yesterday. Did he go home? His sleeping face is the same. She thought that he completely changed. Was his mother the culprit of all this? Was his mother involved in Yena almost being kidnapped? How much does his mother know? Does she know about Yena? She cannot be sure about anything. His mother, Che Yunbai, and Park Sungyu. She must find out more things through the people around him. She prayed silently for him to wait for a while, until she figured out who was the culprit. Observing his face, tears welled in her eyes. She must dig up information and ensure Yena's safety first. She had to put her confession behind the back burner for now. She will make him meet Yena one day. As she slowly reached out to touch his forehead, she pulled back the second before she touched him, and her tears dropped down to his hands. She withdrew herself and turned around, but her hand was grabbed by Ji-hun. He asked her where she was going. The first thing he asked if she kissed him? Huh. She pulled her hand away and answered, What? What kind of nonsense? He stated, I don't want to make a big problem out of this, but how are you going to take responsibility? She reasoned, No, wait, that was not a kiss. Without listening, he brushed it off. All right, we'll say that was a peck. I cannot believe this. I've experienced lots of things, but I've never gotten a peck while I was sleeping. Zhang tried to deny it, that it was not a tear. It was not a kiss nor a peck. I just dropped a teardrop. Ji-hun turned around and refused to accept her explanation. You're good at lying. Desperate to clear the misunderstanding, Zhang told him she was telling the truth. Ji-hun asked, then why? Why did you shed a tear when you looked at me? In a pinch, she blurted, you look similar to my father who passed away. Ji-hun retorted, nonsense. You think I would believe that? That's the truth. Zhang was adamant in sticking through it. Ji-hun demanded, where? How much? How am I similar to him? Do you have his picture? Show it to me? Zhang explained, no wait. You just look handsome, just like him. My father was very handsome. Then, I'll leave now. She turned around trying to rush out of the office. Ji-hun asked her before she left, you said you had something to say to me yesterday. She turned around and said, yesterday? I also wanted to say that you look similar to my father. Then I'll be leaving. He told her, yesterday, he waited an hour. An hour? She growled and slammed the door in front of him. As she headed towards her cubicle, she scolded. He's bragging just because he waited for an hour? I waited for 7 years. Stupid. Just as she thought of how hard life was, the White Lotus Che Unbai called, Assistant Manager Li Zhang'o. Can you come here for a minute? Zhang'o went up to her cubicle and asked if she needed something while at the same time thinking, does she like me? Why did she call me like that? Yunbai asked where did she go yesterday, to which she replied she had to leave early because she had urgent things to do. Che Yunbai answered, I don't think you're the only one who has something urgent. Zhang could already guess it by now that Yunbai just wanted to argue with her. Che Yunbai argued, we agreed to divide our roles after the meetings. Yesterday, we and the other team members worked hard to do your part. Zhang'o explained, but I did it, General Manager. I finished it early and uploaded it to the shared folder. Did you not see it? Did you check it properly? For the first time, Yunbai was at a loss. She turned to her laptop quickly and excused, no wait, Zhang'o didn't wait for her to come up with an excuse. She stated, I think the other members have checked it. You should look for it. I'll be leaving. As she walked away, she scolded inwardly to herself, stopping bothering me. Don't threaten me with work. Don't stand in my way. Chase Yunbai, the same goes for you. I won't let people who threaten me off easily anymore, because that's how I can protect myself and Yena. And then the next moment, she felt exhausted. I made up my mind, but work life is hard. She used up all her energy at the beginning of the day already. For the rest of the day, she had meetings, more meetings, arranging meetings, brainstorming ideas. It's already hard enough without someone bothering her. She waited for the elevator door to open, and one of the things that bothered her was already in the elevator. Why again? Jihan asked, aren't you getting in? I am. She replied and stepped inside. It was just two of them. She felt so uncomfortable. Down the next floor, the door opened and Sung-yu was waiting outside the elevator. Zhang-o pressed the hold button and yelled, General Manager, get in, get in, get in. She doesn't want to be alone in the elevator with Ji-hun. But Sung-yu just glanced at Ji-hun briefly and turned sideways. You can go first. The door closed, leaving just Zhang-o and Ji-hun alone again. She asked, did you two fight? How? How can you fight with that angelic person? An arrow struck Ji-hun. What he heard was that he have a bad personality. I don't think General Manager Park Sung-yu is someone who makes mistakes. Noticing that Ji-hun was silent, she wondered if she was being too straightforward. My apologies. You're similar to my father, so I cared a bit too much. I'm very sorry. Are daughters like that? Do daughters care about their father that much? Ji-hun questioned. That's right. Daughters care so much for their father. By the way, I think you both should reconcile. It seems like General Manager Park Sung-yu cares a lot for you, Director. Zhang-o suggested. At Park Do-bin's home, Do-bin showed Yena a brown ball. Yena, look at this. The heli is shiny, like our eyes. Do-bin's mother, who was preparing food in the kitchen, noticed the two playing and thought they're so cute. There was a time where she was like that too. The doorbell rang and she headed towards the door. As she opened the door, the person standing at the door surprised her. Ji-hun introduced himself as Zhang Ji-hun. Do-bin's mother didn't know how to react. She stuttered, oh my, repeatedly before answering. Nice to meet you, Ji-hun. Ji-hun answered, yes, nice to meet you too. It's been a while since we met. She invited him inside the house. He gave her a fruit basket gift that he bought. She felt flattered, but quickly asked what brought him there. Ji-hun stated that he came to see Sung-yu. Is he home? As he thought that Sung-yu left home early. Do-bin's mother replied that Sung-yu was not home yet, and she'll try to contact him. She asked him to sit down for a moment, guiding him to the living room area where Yena and Do-bin was playing. Do-bin came up and asked who the man was. She straightened up Do-bin and introduced that the man was his dad's friend, Uncle Ji-hun. Do-bin bowed and greeted Ji-hun, to which Ji-hun also greeted him back, rubbing his head and stating he grew up a lot. Do-bin pointed to Yena and introduced, Uncle, my friend is also here. Ji-hun turned at the direction Do-bin pointed and saw a cute, innocent little girl looking at them.